I got you. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you good. How are you?
I'm good, man. So, you're Keith.
Yes, I'm Keith. Yeah.
I'm Will. Nice to meet you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this today.
My pleasure, Will. My pleasure to meet you today.
Yeah, you too.
So, so Will, your debut self-titled album is to be out on September 23rd. So, can you tell me a bit about the making and the production behind this new album?
Sure. So, basically, a handful of guys that I've known forever from different bands. We decided to kind of get together to do this kind of oddball project. It's really kind of, I mean, it's some of the stuff is on the heavier side. It's definitely like kind of going back to, the 70s heyday of kind of rock fusion. And there's a little bit of a jam element to it. But we wanted to put something together where we could all just really kind of stretch out, you know, really kind of concentrate on our playing. There's definitely, solid songwriting there. We wanted to make sure there were hooks to basically hold this stuff all in play. But a chance to really, I mean, a lot of gigs you do, you're playing to maybe, you spend all this time practicing, getting all this stuff together. And, maybe you're playing to, I don't know, 40, 50, 60% of your ability.
Yeah.
Whereas like this is like we're really pushing ourselves to kind of like maximize what it is that we've learned over the years. So there's a fair amount of shredding that's going on here, both amongst the guitar and the keys, and but it's also still about the songwriting. You know what I mean? So there are solid hooks, but it's just a blast, man. This is the band I wanted to be in when I was 17 years old, and it's kind of come full circle to basically like an outlet that you just don't find. You know what I mean? So you make your own.
Amazing. Amazing. And was there any particular concept or a theme that was put behind this album?
Yes, actually, it's kind of funny. Backstory on this is I've got an eclectic background. Basically my kind of regular day job is I produce and compose music for commercials, films, corporate industrial stuff like that. So I've actually produced a few films. Always been into genre stuff, so a lot of horror things like that. So we took our name Crazy Swedes from John Carpenter's The Thing. Basically, there's a line in there where he says, "You really want to save those crazy sweets." So that just kind of stuck. We're like, "Oh, it's a kind of a little like Easter egg that some people would get, some people wouldn't." And so thematically, a lot of the titles are usually references to films or craft beer. That's our other love. You know what I mean? So we got a lot of beer nerds where we brew our own beer and do that sort of thing. Rob Lindquist, the keyboard player, and I. So
Amazing, amazing. And you put up an amazing cover art for this album. Totally amazing way that has come together. So, would you like to tell me a bit about this artwork behind it?
yeah, yeah, sure. Um, Actually, I was searching around trying to find something that was, cinematic, something that had an homage to the
Mhm.
thing. And I found this great artist. He's actually in France, and he has a company called it's a Barbarian Company. That's what it is. But he specializes in a lot of film related work, and he just has a unique style. So we talked, conceptually speaking about what we were looking to do, and I think he just did a great job bringing it to life. We're really happy with how everything came out.
Amazing, amazing. And any plans to come up with an official music video from this album?
Yes, we have. Basically, we're kind of in the beginning stages of doing promotional work for the record. There are two official videos from the record that'll be coming out probably over the next like month, a few weeks, month. And there's a couple other little video surprises as well. So, we're trying to kind of dole it out a little bit at a time so that we can kind of keep the record alive and generate more interest in it. So I do think that if you are a fan of 70s era fusion, like you like bands like, let's say, the Dixie Dregs, or you like bands like, geez, Mahavishnu Orchestra, you like, Jeff Beck's like 70s heyday,
Yeah.
you're definitely going to find stuff that you dig. But at the same token, it's like if you like stuff nowadays, like you're into like Jimmy Herring or, Tribal Tech, or geez, what else could I put on this? There's also like, some kind of more straightforward like funk type stuff. So it really dabbles in a lot of elements. There's certain songs where you're just like, I didn't think it would go there because it feels like it's in one style and then it shifts styles and then it gets a little heavier. You know what I mean? Or there's some stuff that's more introspective and softer. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of variety. We also have a killer cover of Pink Floyd's "Shine On You Crazy Diamond"
Yeah,
live cut that's going to be on this deluxe edition, which is pretty cool. You know, so there's a
amazing.
yeah, so we're looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to people checking it out and basically you know hopefully generates a little more interest so that maybe we can come to your town. Right now we're kind
Yeah,
of this is its own thing. We do have some shows coming up, but insofar as doing something a little more full fledged, we'll see where it takes us.
sounds great. And talking about the album, 13 amazing, mind-blowing songs that have been put together, beautifully done. Everything is come together. Rock fusion, you have a bit of jazz, bit of funk, a slight bit of psychedelia. Everything come together, and it sounds brilliantly awesome. I totally enjoyed each and every track from this new album. But as a band, how do you feel about the outcome?
We're actually, I mean, you're never 100% happy with anything you do because for us it's all personal best. It's like you're your own worst critic. But generally speaking, I mean, the four of us are pretty happy, man. I mean, we spent time doing it. It was an odd process. Usually you would just go into the studio and just do it. But when COVID hit and everything got locked down, we had actually gotten the basic tracks down. So bass and drums were finished, and there was like scratch guitar, scratch keys, but there wasn't the time to go back and kind of do everything that you wanted to do. So we sat on those tracks for a little while, and when things were locked down, it was like, hey, well, we have the time. I have my own home studio as well as the keyboard player. So we decided let's produce this up a little bit more than just a document of what a live recording would be. So, we really spent time at home thinking about it from more of a production level where, okay, well, what different sounds are you going to work in? What different guitar tones? What different parts are going to complement this? But also not overdoing it because you just didn't want, this to be kind of too slick. So I think we found a happy medium. Um, but we're happy with the songs. The songs are, we've been trying a lot of those. We've been playing a lot of those out for a while. So this is the first time we've been able actually to get them down for people to check out. But yeah, I generally speaking, we're pretty happy with it. We are pretty happy with it. We have a great co-producer and an engineer that we work with, Chris Tice, who's won a few Grammys. I've been working with him for a long time. We also worked on I don't know if you know this, but I was a front man for a band called Infinite Spectrum, a prog metal
Yeah.
group that did a U.S. tour with Fates Warning a few years back. And I worked with him quite a bit on those records. So it was an easy fit, and I think it's so far working really well. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And any big plans you have on the day of the release on September 23rd?
Um, no big plans. Basically the release is its own thing. We do kind of have somewhat of a hometown pre-release show that we're doing on September 3rd in Saratoga Springs, New York. And we'll we have some other things that are tentative that'll be coming up, so I can't really talk about it exactly yet, but I will
Yeah,
definitely keep you in the loop.
yeah,
But it's just it's a joy to play this stuff. I feel a lot of times you're in different bands where it becomes a grind. It becomes kind of like, well, uh, there's no spontaneity. Everything's kind of the same every night. And I think one of the joys of playing in this band is, you're able to stretch out. So I guess we do kind of take a little bit of a jazz mentality only in the improvisation points where it's like, okay, you have your structure for what this is, and then you're just free to kind of improvise and be free and do your thing, and come back in. So every night is different. And that unique aspect of this band is something that I find, really fulfilling.
that's great. And you guys started almost 5, 6 years back. So how has the journey been for you so far?
It's been good. It's what all the guys play in different bands. Everybody has different projects and different things going on. So Um, I think the testament to how everybody kind of feels about the whole, operation is the fact that, it kind of ebbs and flows. It comes in and out. But every time we get back together, it just feels fresh. It feels like, okay, everybody really wants to be here. Which is nice. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a nice antidote to, some of the stock gigs that you might do. I mean, some of the guys are doing pop stuff, some of the guys are doing more metal stuff. But after a while, it's like if you're playing in a band where it's like the same set every, that you're doing every night, something like this is refreshing because it does give you an opportunity to express yourself more. So yeah, it's everybody. Let's put it this way: all still original members. Everybody's hanging with it, and everybody's still digging it. So I take that as a good sign.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. And how as a band do you look into the future?
Into the future, I mean, I would like nothing more than to basically maybe score some sort of festival gigs that are basically maybe a little more, fusion oriented or even prog oriented, because I think we fit a little bit into that niche. Um, even like, I think the jam band scene of today, while I think what we're doing is a little more technical than what that is, it still has its roots in kind of where we're coming from. So we'll see. I mean, that's some festival gigs to kind of raise awareness about what it is that we're doing. And I'm sure we'll plan some sort of smaller tours in the future. But right now, life is just it's just all about getting the record out there. And for me personally, it's like between all the other music endeavors I have, and then I also have obviously the film production business, and then on top of it, my wife and I just recently had twins.
Wow,
So it's a full
amazing.
plate. It's a full plate.
Wonderful, wonderful. And do you plan to have a lot of collaborations in the future
Um, Collaborations, you mean like with
with
other artists?
different artists, different styles of music? So, what would
Oh,
be some of
gotcha.
those plans?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I've actually been talking to a few different people about maybe getting together and doing some shows together. Um, that would be very guitar centric. So we'll see if that kind of comes to fruition. Um, we try to make everything that we do a little bit more of an event, as opposed to just kind of like, oh, you're seeing this band on a Friday night. So that's something we've talked about. Like per se, like, hey, you have a thing and it's going to be very guitar centric, and it's going to have a couple of different, like maybe instrumental guitar groups of different styles. I mean, you could even have somebody that's doing kind of more of a flamenco thing, let's say, and then it's like, okay, a jazz fusion thing, and then maybe something that's even more heavier, like math rock technical thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we're trying to figure out how best to uh, collaborate with some other folks. It's just going to be make it kind of almost like a mini festival, if you will. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how
Yeah.
we're trying to approach things in the future. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you in the loop.
Amazing, amazing. Will. And Will, what would be some of the upcoming plans apart from the release of the album?
Apart from the release of the album, I'm actually currently working on a solo singer songwriter project that's going to definitely skew on the harder rock slash metal side. So there's already a few things that are in the can, a few more to do, but I think that'll probably be coming out sometime in 2023, and we'll see what we do to support that as well. But that's got some really cool tunes. It's definitely more of a vocal based, uh, catchy hooks. But yeah, I look, it's we'll still have some heavy shredding guitar on it, but I look forward to
Yeah,
sharing that with you guys because that's probably going to be somewhat along the lines, maybe a little less proggy, a little more straight ahead than what I had been doing before with Infinite Spectrum.
amazing, Will, amazing. And Will, finally, any message that you want to give the fans and people who are new to Crazy Sweeps?
Yeah, sure. Check out Crazy Swedes. We're at www.crazy-swedes.com, to stay up to date. Check out our Facebook page as well. And new album comes out, deluxe edition, on September 23rd. You should be able to get it at iTunes, Amazon, any place you buy your music. And we always appreciate your support as an artist. the fact that you guys buy music is kind of how we can keep making music for you. And this comes from the heart. The project, it's like it means a lot to us. Like I said, it's like the band I wish I was in when I was 17. Um, and really an homage to a lot of our musical heroes from when we were growing up. So, if, like I said before, if you dig guys like Steve Morse and Alan Holdsworth and Scott Henderson, Jeff Beck, I mean John McLaughlin, Jimmy Herring, it's like you will definitely be into this project. So I hope you pick it up. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, I hope that we can keep making more music for you guys.
Wonderful, very wonderful. And Bill, I want to thank you so much for giving me today's wonderful opportunity to have this great interview with you, and a real pleasure to meet you today. And thank you so much for putting up an amazing album this year. Really happy to go back to the 70s with the modern touch to it. So thank you so much for this amazing work from you guys. And I wish you all the best and hope to see you guys on the road real soon.
Keith, thank you very much for having me on. I look forward to meeting you
My
in person,
pleasure.
man.
My pleasure to be my pleasure. Thank you so much and take care and have a great day.
You too. Take care, Keith.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.